some big changes, and a harrowing ordeal for our Silo dwellers. Let's talk about Silo Season 1, Episode 3. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and it's Friday, which means it's Silo Day. We're going to talk about Silo Season 1, Episode 3, Machines, which comes to Apple TV Plus on May 12th, 2023. If you haven't started watching Silo, and that's fine, I didn't start watching it when it first came out either. This is the third episode, there's 2 before, and this is only the second week, so it's plenty of time to catch up, and you definitely should get on this train. It is a really, really well done series. It feels like Fallout, the TV show. If you know Fallout is where the outside is a wasteland. Everyone is living in these shelters until occasionally one will escape and go into the wasteland and see the kind of terrible things that are happening. You don't get that aspect, but you do get this sense of people living in this protected area because the outside world is supposed to be uninhabitable. And you see what can happen when you have everyone living underground and trying to survive in this strange, very kind of hierarchical society. So I really like it. I really love the Fallout / Vault Dweller type of vibes you get in this series, and it's just so well done. Now, I caught up on the first 2 episodes. This is the new episode, Season 1, Episode 3. My hot take is I definitely think you should watch it. So it is an episode that brings a ton of new information, some big changes for the main characters, and a harrowing ordeal. It is definitely foundational, and you get a lot of, and you also get to see kind of like more how this silo works, how like the various like players in this silo vie for control and try to like keep on top. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the episode, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and do a recap. So if you haven't seen the episode, you just want to kind of like refresh yourself, you can hear what happens in this. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the recap. If you don't want to know what happens, you want to maybe watch the episode first, or you just don't want to know at all, you just want to hear my thoughts, turn it off then. But before that, I will be vague and I'll let you know when I get to the spoilers. So in Silo Season 1, Episode 3, you have the fallout of Sherriff Holston, who decided to go outside into the outside world. So what happens in this world is you can stay in the silo, but if you say that you want to go outside, which means you want to like go into the outside infected world, then you can, but it is a one-way street and it is irrevocable. If you say you want to go out, you go out and you stay out there. Now, what the people in the silos see, there's a window that shows in the outside world. So people will occasionally go outside to clean off that window, give people a better view. And usually they last, I don't know, a minute or 2 because the environment is so poisonous. They don't stay alive for very long. But what you learn is that some people seem to think that the environment is actually habitable, that the environment is fine, and what you are being shown is a lie. It's like, I don't know, a filter or a program, something that happens to make the outside world look terrible, even though the outside world is perfectly fine. So at the end of the last episode, Sherriff Holston went outside to kind of be with his wife, to find his wife. He survived for a little bit. He ripped off his helmet, but ended up just dying next to his wife. So this episode deals with kind of the fallout of that and the need for the mayor to pick a new successor, a new sheriff in town. And there is one suggestion from the judicial side, the kind of like judicial branch. They want a certain individual, but Sheriff Holston, as the outgoing sheriff, does get the right to kind of nominate a successor, and he nominates Juliette Nichols, the kind of quirky engineer who's in the lower levels and who keeps the generator running. It's an odd, it's an odd recommendation, but she seems great, if a little quirky. She seems like she would be a good sheriff. So the mayor is trying to figure out what to do. That leads to some new revelations about how the silo is handling, and also gives you a better look at how the kind of the silo's class structure goes. So things I liked about this episode. The first, look, I really love the production values. This is a really well done, kind of well realized world. You definitely get a good sense of what this world's like how these people live. And it just feels like it transports you into this new place. Like there is clearly CG that is used, but it is very well done. It's not distracting. And it feels like there is just a really nice lived-in aspect to this place. You get like really good sets, you get good costumes, you get just a lot of like little touches. The second thing I loved is the slow info drip. Like I really like how things are introduced in this world. You don't get like a breakdown of the silo, but in this episode you get a better idea of kind of how the various structures live. Like I love that at the start of this you didn't get like a backstory of the silo. You didn't get a kind of like schematic of the silo, but it does slowly give you additional information about what is going on and how this world kind of interacts and how this world exists. I really love that I didn't like have a great sense of how the class structure was until this episode, where they kind of like casually brought it up in some conversations between some characters. And I really kind of like that kind of storytelling. I like how you kind of are taken along on the journey and slowly given information as you live in this world. The third thing I loved is the intrigue. Like, this has some factions that are definitely vying for a position here. They're trying to get their own person installed for what reasons you don't know, but definitely probably something nefarious. And you get to see kind of Sheriff Holston throw his hat in the ring before he left, and try to figure out why he might have nominated Juliette. Maybe she would be a great sheriff. Maybe there's some other reason. You have to watch to find out. And the last thing I really loved is the ending. Like, the ending was pretty shocking. It was well done. There was a big thing that happens, a couple of actually big things that happen and it definitely makes you kind of want to watch what happens next. So that being said, things I didn't love about this episode, I'll kind of loosely say the ending. There was some stuff that happened that I didn't love, and I'm going to get into that in the recap. I'm just going to say it tied up a little bit too nicely. So that being said, Silo Season 1, Episode 3 is a great episode. It's a really good series. Definitely get on the train now so you can catch up. They're about an hour episode, so you're only 3 hours in, a long movie. You can catch up quickly and keep going because it is really, really fun. It is really well done, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So check it out on Apple TV Plus on May 12th, 2023. I'm going to get into that recap now, so if you don't want to know what happens in this episode, I would turn it off because there will be spoilers. So in Silo, Season 1, Episode 3, you have couple choices for who the new sheriff is going to be. You got the judicial nominee who wants a certain person, and then you've got Sheriff Holston, who nominated Juliette or Jules to be the successor. And so the mayor wants to go check this out. She wants to at least interview Jules and figure out, why she was nominated. And I think she also wants to kind of rub it in the judicial branch's nose. Like, she doesn't like that they're trying to influence who gets picked. She doesn't like that they're trying to like sugarcoat her, try to bribe her, kind of like at one point someone offers a treat to her, like a very kind of expensive, nice treat. She doesn't like how everyone is trying to like tell her what to do. I think she wants to kind of make her own decision. So she heads down to talk to Jules. When she gets there, there's a problem with the generator. Now, there have been a few problems with the generator throughout, and it just seems like it is not stable. Things happen. They have to make some adjustments to it. And it seems to be happening more frequently. So when the mayor and Deputy Marnes get down there, they see that something's going on with the generator. Jules goes in, kind of heroically fixes it, and gets the generator back working. Now, this causes the mayor to kind of want to talk to her. I think she ends up liking her. She likes her kind of like no-nonsense attitude. She likes her sense of duty. And she really likes that Holston was the person that kind of nominated her, and that the judicial branch didn't nominate her. I think she wants to kind of like thumb it in their nose and pick her own person. So she offers the job to Jules, and Jules says no, like, I don't want it. I don't want that job. But she quickly changes her mind. She goes up to the mayor after and says, I'll take the job, but you have to let me fix a generator. Like, if the generator goes down, this whole silo goes down, I need to finally fix it. We've been kind of adjusting it, but we need to actually fix the generator, which means they need to shut the generator down, switch the silo to emergency power, and actually do a repair on the generator, which had never been done. The generator has never actually stopped. So it's a big ask. The mayor wants Jules. She wants to kind of like get her in place. So they do it. They end up shutting down the generator for 8 hours. Well, that was the plan, at least. The whole silo is going to be in darkness for 8 hours. When they do finally shut it down, there's some interesting things that happen. Like, everything gets dark, and then the emergency lights come on. It's just kind of like an emergency backup generator that does very little bit of power, but enough to at least power the lights. All the people kind of gather in safe spots to prevent any sort of shenanigans from happening. And most interestingly, when the generator goes down, that window in the outside world momentarily has a glitch. It momentarily seems to drop whatever program is running and show the outside world as it actually is. It's like beautiful, green, lush, and interestingly enough, where the bodies of the past cleaners who have left were in the kind of desolate world, in this other view, maybe the real view, whatever you want to call it, they're not there. They disappeared for that view just for a moment, and then the screen goes dark. But some people do see it. Some people see that. They're confused. You don't hear anything about it for the rest of the episode, but some people seem to have seen at least what might be on the outside world. Who knows what they're going to believe it is, but they at least have that momentary glimpse. I think that'll pay dividends later on in this series. I'm pretty sure it probably will, but we'll find out. So now that the generator's down, they have a very limited time to actually fix it. They have to remove these like 1.2 ton panels from the generator to get access to the actual turbine blades. And then when they're there, they won't need to fix it. But the problem is this generator is meant to run continuously, which means it has a constant supply of steam, probably geothermal steam, that goes into it. They can close that valve that feeds the steam, but only for a limited amount of time. They can't stop the flow because they don't really know how it happens. It just keeps going. So while they're closing it, the pressure builds up and eventually they'll have to vent it. So they think they have about 30 minutes. They shut everything down, close that valve up, and Jules and Cooper, her kind of apprentice shadow, get to work. Now, they do as much as they can, but there are some hiccups. Cooper drops the turbine blade, which bends even more than it actually was. So they have to fix that quickly. And Jules is fixing other blades, other turbines, when it seems that the pressure is building faster than anyone anticipates. So Jules tells Cooper to keep fixing, which I thought was a little weird. Like, I mean, it's good for him to kind of get the experience, but Jules is the expert, and this is a very, very stressful repair. So she tells him to keep repairing these blades and to, when the new blade comes in, plug that in and bolt that down tight. And she's going to go give them some more time. She gets down from the turbine, goes into where like the steam enters with a hose and just starts spraying the valve, the gasket, whatever you want to call it, the door with cold water to cool the temperature down and hopefully buy them some more time. Quick thinking, good idea. But this seems like something someone else could have done. I don't know, like send any of the other people down there while she goes up and fixes the blades and tries to get that done as quickly as possible. But, you know, Jules is a hands-on person. She is a doer. And so she just made the decision, gets down there and does it. So she's buying them more time as this little chamber is slowly filling with water because she's cooling it down. They're trying to repair the turbine. They're trying to do as much as they can. The pressure builds quicker. They're worried they might have to vent. They're getting close. They're getting close. But everything's fine. They were able to get the blades fixed. Cooper's able to get the new turbine blade in. The pressure is building, but they keep holding on. The water gets above Jules's head. Maybe they should have sent a taller person because then they would have had even more time. But the repair gets done. Cooper gets down. They pull Jules out. She has swallowed water. She is like half breathing, but she's alive. And she gets out there. They close everything, turn the turbine back on, and it spins up and seems to be running fine. There's no like weird wobble. There's no sparks from the blades. It seems like the generator is good to go. Which, I don't know. That was the thing about the ending that I didn't really love. I thought it was a great, stressful situation. Like you weren't sure what was going to happen. But in the end, everyone came out fine. I was expecting, like, I don't know, Cooper to stay in there and try to fix it, you know, till the end. And then, oh my gosh, like they have to vent it. They vent it and he gets sucked in the blade. I don't know, something tragic happening at the end. It felt like it was a big, big buildup and then everything worked out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sad person. I don't know. It felt like something should have happened. Either like something should have broken on the turbine, something should have broken on the generator, or someone should have like been a casualty of this whole situation. But that didn't happen. Everything seems to work out. And Jules takes the job as a sheriff. She says goodbye to everyone, says goodbye to all of her friends down there, and goes to take her new position. Now, the mayor and Deputy Marnes, they seem to have some chemistry. They kind of had a nice long walk down to the maintenance area where they met Jules. They had a walk up. They kind of talked about how Marnes wants to retire. He wants to maybe like open a shop and do some drawings. And during the night, while they were waiting out the kind of like night in darkness, you could see him sketching, and he sketched a picture of the mayor. So it seems like maybe he has some feelings for her. Now, later that night, the mayor said that, you know, she didn't just go down there with him to check out the, you know, mechanical area and talk to Jules. She wanted to spend time with him, and he admits that he did too. They have a nice moment. They kiss. everything seems to work out for them. Now, the next day, after the generator is back online, everything is fine. Jules is heading up to be the sheriff. You get some new revelations. First, you find out that the mayor also is thinking about retiring. She thinks that maybe her time is done. Maybe she can now pass on the reins to someone else. And maybe she'll open a little shop next to the retired Marnes who wants to just go and draw and sell his sketches. Maybe she'll open a shop next to him. It seems like maybe they're planning a life after their public service time. Jules is looking at the badge, and something that happened when she was looking at the badge. Originally, when she said no to the mayor gave Jules Sheriff Holston's badge anyways because he wanted her to have it regardless of her choice. She is looking at the badge, and while she's looking it over with her friends, they notice something on the back, and that seems to trigger her to want to take the job. Now, we finally find out what that was at the end of the episode. She was looking at the badge, and she recalls something that Sheriff Holston said. Like, she came to him saying that her boyfriend was murdered, and he's like, there's no evidence. It seems like a suicide. There's nothing that he can do. But she makes him promise that he's going to keep digging, and if he finds anything, he'll send word down to her. Now, in the interim, he seemed to go crazy, seemed to like want to go out to the outside world, went to the outside world, died, but he wanted her to have this badge. And when she was looking at the badge, on the back, there was etched in there, truth, which was his sign to her that she was right, that, you know, there is a different story, that she knew the truth, and now, like, she needs to go figure out why her boyfriend was killed, like, why that happened. It was interesting, like, how crudely, I thought it would be like a very like secret sign, like a secret message or something that's really hard to see, maybe you need to magnify, but no, truth was just like etched in very big letters on the back of his badge. But that was the sign she needed, and that's why she ended up taking the job and going up to the upper levels to, I guess, investigate what happened. Now, over to the mayor and Deputy Marnes. They are they seem to be kind of enjoying the day. The generator is working, everything is working out. It seems like maybe they can both retire. And the mayor tells him, like, she's going to go freshen up. He should grab a bottle of wine and then go back to her place where they can do whatever it is they're doing. And he's very excited. He grabs a bottle of wine. He's talking to her. He's like, maybe we need two. Is one going to be enough? And she's not responding. A little weird. She knows before that she seemed like she was a little off, but she kind of, you know, brushed it off. When she went to the bathroom, he's talking to her, and then no responses happen. So he gets worried. He goes over there, tries to like call her again, and you hear like a collapse. So Deputy Marnes busts down the door, goes in there, and you see the mayor on the floor of the bathroom, like blood coming from her mouth, clearly looking like she was poisoned. Who did it? Why would they want to poison the mayor? We'll have to find out next. My guess is it's probably on the judicial side. Probably the judicial people did that. Maybe to prevent her from giving the sheriff's job to Jules. Maybe they thought they could take her out before she was able to sign that paperwork. But unfortunately for whoever did this, she did sign the paperwork. She appointed Jules as the sheriff before she died, or before she at least was poisoned and, you know, presumably died. Maybe she's going to be incapacitated. Who knows? But that plan, if that was the reason, it didn't work. But we don't know who did it. We don't know what happens to her, because that's the end of the episode. That is Silo Season 1, Episode 3. Like I said, it's a really good episode. It's a really good series. You should definitely get on this train. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the series, if you don't like the series, if I got it right, if I got it wrong. Let me know in the comments. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.